I'm Lisa Smith. Welcome to another edition of Help with Help Desk. In this video, I want to talk to you about weaving Help Desk in as the solution. Now, this may be targeted more toward those of you who are actually teaching payroll and human resources. Maybe you're even teaching FMLA or HIPAA, OSHA, accounts receivable, those types of courses that are directly related into the help desk genre in the product line. But don't discount the fact that if you're not teaching a direct HR style topic, that you couldn't weave this into any other topic. So pay attention to what I'm going to say to you, and then think about your topic and think about your presentation style and think about help desk and decide where you could work it in to your overall setup. Here is what I do, and this has been very, very, very successful. I also know for a fact that there are a couple other, at least maybe 3 or 4, very successful trainers who take a very similar approach. I was actually very tickled and I felt very smart when I went and sat in on their seminars and I watched them give an almost identical presentation to mine, because I thought, wow, we are on the same wavelength, we're thinking alike, and that was very flattering to me that I would be thinking like some of these really genius trainers out there. So what I'm about to tell you is some really great advice, okay? So just think about this. Whatever it is, whatever topic you're teaching, the people have come there, a lot of them have come there because they are struggling with that issue. So let's say you're teaching payroll or whatever it might be. Some of them are there because they just want their usual update. Okay, fine, whatever. They may not even realize or be willing to acknowledge yet that they have some struggles that you're going to uncover for them. But you have some people sitting in class who know they're struggling, and that's why they're there. And those are the people you need to talk to today. Okay? You need to go ahead and decide what is the pain that you're going to uncover and what is the fix. What is the approach to fix that pain and to solve that problem? So no matter what topic you teach, we all know, right, that we are there to demonstrate the pain and then to offer them the solution, right? And that's what we're going to do as good trainers and as salespeople. Okay, so that's what we're doing. Now with help desk, what I always do is I tell them in the first 15, 20, 30 minutes of the morning, we're sort of getting it all going and breaking it in and getting into the workbook a little bit and identifying some pain points and what we're all dealing with and why we're all here today and what our struggles are, and everybody is just nodding and we're writing some stuff down in the workbook and we're making some notes and some key phrases and we're just sort of all jumping in together. And we're sighing a little bit and we're laughing a little bit and we're kind of just feeling it as one group. That's a really good way to get going. And then, right when I kind of have them built up to a lot of the points of what are we going to do with this, I tell them, today I am going to show you a systematic approach to solving the majority of these problems. Okay? So maybe the approach is to surviving an audit or whatever your topic is going to be, right? So a systematic approach. In one of my courses, I say to making sure you are audit secure. I'm not going to audit proof your business because I don't believe you can be audit proof. Let's live in the real world. If an auditor wants to find something wrong with your organization, they're going to find something wrong. Am I right? Yes. But What does it take to feel secure when that auditor walks in the door? Let me show you. I'm going to show you a systematic approach. Okay? So that systematic approach is going to consist of about 5 or 6 steps, which I say write this down, or I'll have a slide that illustrates it. And of course, they're taking notes off the slide. Some people don't use a PowerPoint, so that would be a good time to say, write this down, and you're feeding it to them. However your style is, it works either way. The systematic approach. And so you very briefly outline the systematic approach, these 5 or 6 points that you're going to hit with 2 or 3 brief points under each heading. And then for the rest of the day, every piece of content you cover is going to tie back in somehow to those 5 or 6 pieces of that systematic approach. Okay, so the systematic approach, each one of those pieces of the approach is going to tie into a resource. And many of those pieces of my approach, whether it's payroll I'm teaching or OSHA or whatever it is, maybe it's an accounts receivable class I'm teaching, whatever, HIPAA, the majority of my systematic approach ties directly back into help desk. I can go into help desk for a variety of those different pieces. Now, I also tie into Ultimate Employer. I also tie into training rewards. And I may also be tying into a number of other resources based on the topic that I'm teaching. So you're seeing what I'm doing is basically my systematic approach is setting up a speaker pack. Okay? So in my classes, of course, I am really wanting to sell a lot of help desk. That's in my best interest. And so I am tying everything back into help desk as one of my anchor pieces. Now, whatever your anchor piece is, which, by the way, I would love for one of your anchor pieces to be help desk, but whatever your anchor piece is in your course, then that's what you want to tie your systematic approach to. And then you want to feed in your supplementary resources that you're going to build into your speaker pack along the way with that systematic approach. So it's just common sense that they need these resources in order to fulfill this approach. And as you're going through, I always tell them as I'm feeding this approach, I say, so everything we talk about today, every law we mention, every piece of the content is going to tie back into this approach. And I'm going to show you how to XYZ by following this approach. It's going to work for everything we discussed today. So do that with your content, and then be able to feed your resources into this approach. You don't have to use that terminology, systematic approach. You know, that might get old if they come to every Fred Pryor seminar and everybody has a systematic approach. But you can think up your own terminology. Maybe it's a particular checklist for your topic, or maybe it's, you know, I don't know, whatever it is, based on what your subject matter is. But come up with something creative. But think in the term of this approach, 5 or 6 points to this approach, and it's going to carry you throughout the various pieces of your content throughout the day. And everything that you teach content-wise is going to tie back into this approach and tie into a resource as this approach goes. So think about that. And then as you do it, you're going to have the anchor piece that is a part of every piece of this approach, or at least virtually every piece of this approach, because the anchor piece is what you're going to convince them that they need by the end of the day. And that anchor piece is what anchors down your speaker pack. And even if you have people in class who don't get your speaker pack, they're going to get that anchor piece. And ultimately, you want to sell that, right? So that's going to be a big deal. And hopefully, you want to sell that anchor piece and a training rewards membership. I almost always sell a training rewards membership with a help desk. If I'm selling it to a training rewards member, then maybe they buy a training rewards for someone else in their organization, or you know, they bring several other people in with a friend, you know, or the TRE type thing. That's also a great little add-on by emphasizing training. Or if you just don't get the training rewards with it, you know, you have some other pieces of that approach that tie in, and so you have something else that goes along with your anchor piece. But hopefully basically what you're doing is selling your speaker pack at that point that contains everything. So it's definitely a great way to put your speaker pack out there, because then as you're doing this approach, it only makes sense that you tell them, and don't worry, I know this is a lot of information, and I'm not going to just put this out here and then say, good luck, hope that works out for you. No, that would be cruel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my approach, and then I'm going to show you what's worked for me and what works for my clients and what works for just hundreds, if not thousands of people across the country that I've been training for the last few years. And this is something that will work for you as well. So I'm going to be showing with you the resources that I use, the different tools that have been helpful for me and my clients. And I'm going to just be popping in and out of them throughout the day. And so this will be a real big benefit, because not only will you get the recommendation straight from an avid user, but you'll also get to see them in action. So it'll be like a win-win. So Stephen Covey said, think win-win, right? And so that's what we're going to do today. One of the 7 habits of highly effective people, which is what we all want to be, right? So absolutely, let's get started. Okay? So that's kind of the approach that you'll take with building that system. So sell them a system. That's what they want, right? It's what everybody wants. Wouldn't you rather just have a key that you put into the ignition that starts the engine? Everything runs smoothly. Yeah, we don't want to have to buy the parts and piece it together and hope we got them all done right and the pieces of the puzzle aren't somewhere lost, missing in the crevices of our mind. No, no. The turnkey approach is so much more appealing. So whether you call it your systematic approach or you give it another name, which by the way, don't call it the systematic approach every time, but you could be creative. Come up with your own name for it. It will be appealing and people will love it. And it is what they're here for. And you will be doing them a service. So hopefully you'll anchor your approach with Help Desk. But even if you build a Help Desk in as one of your resources that helps solidify the approach, we're happy, because you are putting help on the desk of someone in America who needs it, and you've put some money in your pocket, and you've helped generations of people who may never know it through our initiatives with helping victims and survivors of violence. So everybody wins, right? If we can help you further, and when we can help you further, please don't hesitate to let us know. Email me directly. I'll be happy to consult with you specifically on creating your systematic approach, as long as it includes Help Desk. Until next time, keep calm, sit back, relax. Help really is on your desk. Stay tuned for more videos. See you next time.